I guess, because I can just edit this out. We're recording, by the way.
Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Pause. Before the video starts, I would just like to say, anyone watching, this is going to be a series of me bringing on friends of mine to come on the podcast and share their story about high school and all the other stuff I'll mention in a second. All I want to say is if you really want to see more of this, subscribe on YouTube or follow on Spotify and enjoy. Thank you. Hello, everybody. This is the first episode of the Grime podcast. I am your host, the Bin Man, and this is one of my good friends. Do you want to give yourself a name?
No, since I can't really say anything, let's just call myself 64.
This is my good friend 64. Here on the Grime podcast, we talk about trials and tribulations throughout high school. The massive mental health crisis, family members, parents not being able to see things that you would be able to see in your fellow classmates and friends. Just the general absence of adult attention and how they're so out of touch with our generation with all the new problems and just the problems that we have amongst ourselves as well. My good friend 64 is going to tell his story today. So, who were you in middle school, in 8th grade, before high school? Who were you?
For high school or middle school?
Before high school. In middle school, in 8th grade, who were you?
Oh, okay. Well, I was nobody, I guess.
What did you see your personality, like who were you to yourself?
Respectable. Young. I don't know how to describe it. More like a person you're cool with, maybe not personally with.
I can see that. So like almost like a popular loner type thing. Like people are cool with you, but you don't really go with anyone,
Yeah, I don't really interact with a bunch of people publicly. It's more like, oh, I know this guy because of this guy and this guy.
Yeah, I understand that. So when getting close to your graduation date up to high school, that's like a huge thing for a lot of people, like in their minds, high school is so huge to a lot of kids. What did you expect to high school to be like?
Everything is new to me. I expect it to be some sort of similarity middle school. It's sort of the same thing too. We have like 6 classes in middle school. We have 6 classes now. So I didn't really expect much other than learning more new topics such as electives. But since I didn't really have grades, I didn't really get the opportunity to express or join many things.
Yeah. Do you think that something, like you said, you didn't really have good grades, do you think that affected you at all? And do you, hold on, how can I word this better? Do you think that affected how you experience things in high school and how, things to do with friends? Because I'm sure your parents wanted you to go to tutoring or something.
I mean, yeah, of course, my parents, give me a whole, whoop in the ass and say, oh, bring your grades up and everything. As friends, though, of course, many people think, grades is depending on how smart you are. So if you got all Fs, you must be a complete idiot.
Yeah.
That's not entirely true.
No, I don't think so at all. In fact, oh, you were gonna say something?
It's more like either you're really lazy to do all this work, or you just did not care at all. That's basically what an F is to me.
I think that that's the stigma with adults and people our age, because you see, but unless someone's a lot more open-minded, a lot of people can see it that way, but I see it as you're a very creative and smart person. You might not be able to take an algebra test with flying colors, but you are definitely smart in a lot of different ways. And I feel like some people take getting an F in school like as this person's just stupid or they're lazy, you know. But I don't think that at all, because I've seen you, you know, try with your grades, and I've seen you, you know, you've definitely gotten better as we're getting closer to graduating. And
yeah, definitely much better than what I was junior year. It was all like 6 Fs in classes.
yeah. So all that stigma, it's just like, I feel like it affects someone definitely, because they feel like, oh, people probably look at me this way or that way, you know. A lot of people have those types of self-esteem issues. But like apart from that, when you went into freshman year, you know, we both went to the same school. What was the social vibe you got from it?
Oh fuck. I'm allowed to say fuck, right? Are you gonna bleep this out?
No, I don't care.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. Socially in freshman year, or maybe high school in general, there is a lot of new experiences.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, there's a lot of friends. I had a lot of friends in freshman year. You know,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you know we were like in a bench group basically.
Yeah.
And the fact that now that I'm a senior graduating and mostly all of them are gone. You know, I haven't talked to any single one of them again. Really sad. I think partially it's my fault for not catching up to them.
But everyone has their faults, you know.
Yeah, but they have to be like this. I left because of things that other people did. I judged too quickly.
Yeah.
You know, when I was young, I judged a lot, and I really didn't have a good sense of morality.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us did. You know, we were all pretty little, to be honest. Freshmen are kids, like little kids.
We're young, we're stupid.
Still are, but like, you know, we're a little bit smarter than we used to be.
Oh,
but...
yeah.
Just pretty much. That's all it is. We're still pretty young and stupid, but we're just a tad bit smarter than we were 4 years ago.
Of course, I mean, maybe not smarter, but we definitely grew a lot more personality, a lot more sense into what we are, who they are, who is everyone.
Yeah, but I also had a falling out, you know, with some friends, and I can completely level with you on that. When it comes to people you've known for so long, and then something happens, and you pick a side, sometimes you're just on the wrong end of the stick, and everyone goes towards something else. Because that's just how it is.
That's what kills mostly everything.
It breaks you mentally, you know, because the friends that I were with, one of them was a really good friend of mine, and you know, I was friends with him for 5-6 years almost, and that was pretty.
Yeah.
That, you know, I still think about him sometimes, and I'm, you know, sometimes I miss him a bit, because of course I do. But then you think about everything that happened, and it crushes you every time you think about it. Even though if you make new friends again, you know, there's something that can never replace what was lost, and that really hurts a lot. There's almost nothing that you can do for that other than just, you know, get over it, right? And
There's nothing we can do.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have felt that. People told me for a while, they were just saying, like, no one ever stays friends with someone forever. You're always going to go through people in life. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be that way, but it is like that. It just happens to be that way. It's not because we decide, oh, I just want to change of friends. It's because something can happen, and then everyone's gone. And it really hurts, but I feel like that's a big turning point in life, and it's happened to a lot of people as well. And if it hasn't happened to someone yet, it probably will in their lifetime.
Pretty much is basically one step to growing up.
Yeah.
Experiencing loss. Maybe not loss. I mean, they didn't die, but it's just losing.
You lose a part of yourself.
Yeah, and then you look back, it's like, that was really us. Now it's gone.
Yeah.
You feel like you change afterwards.
You do. At least a little bit. Maybe not a lot, but you definitely change. You have a change of heart. You have a change of personality, and it's like a breakup, you know? When you have a breakup, you're a different person afterwards, at least a little bit. Because then you sit and think about the breakup. You change what happened. You change yourself based on what you did wrong. And I've done that a few times, you know?
Yeah.
And that even happens with friend groups. You change who you hang out with. You may change who you hang out with. You may change how you see certain people, how you may judge people based on, you know, experiences of others and how you've gotten to know those people. So, okay, so you had a big group of friends freshman year, and then you had a falling out with them. What was sophomore year? Did that happen in freshman year or sophomore year?
It mostly happened between freshman and sophomore year, almost.
So, then what was your sophomore year like?
Honestly, the same thing, except, you know, different classes. You meet more people, leave a little bit of other people. It's complicated. You see more things thoroughly, and to be honest, it's not the friends that really changed me. I mean, of course they did, but it's mostly dating-wise. Dating-wise is a really big thing in high school.
Oh, 100%. People who, honestly, I envy those who can legitimately just not think about going into a relationship or just can't see themselves doing that, and they don't. Because they probably have a lot better of a time staying out of relationships than people who date do, you know?
Yeah, I mean shout out for those people who hasn't gotten a girlfriend. And right now, I already have like a love life, and I mean it's going great. I am sort of grateful that I experienced it all to know what not to do, to know what to do.
Yeah, see,
You know, same thing as friends. You know,
it's a
not to
double-edged
do.
sword.
Yeah, what not to expect, what to expect.
It really readies you for life in all aspects. High school does. Maybe way for the worst, maybe way for the better, but it readies you nonetheless, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, I feel like a lot of parents, and this is for a lot of parents, maybe not adults who work for schools like psychologists, because I'm sure they understand this, but parents specifically, they say things like, oh, you're just a kid, you know, the feelings you feel aren't mature, they're not real. But I think that's complete bullshit, honestly. Because I'm a firm believer that the feelings that we feel as kids, maybe we're not full-grown adults, but they're definitely real. You know, if it's a physical pain, if it's that big of an emotion and you feel it in your stomach, or if it's a physical, like, blessing almost, like you get butterflies, or it starts hurting because you're just depressed, you know, that's real. That's as real as anything you'll ever feel in your life, in the rest of your life. And I feel like parents should not, you know, say that it's not real just because we're younger than them, you know?
I can totally agree with that, because, you know, if you feel it physically, then there's no doubt that it's nothing to react. It's there. It's real. It's
you don't have to be taught what a strong emotion is. Humans just know what a strong emotion is. When you're extremely angry, you feel extremely angry. When you feel really sad, you start crying. You feel really sad. When you're laughing, you laugh. You like burst out laughing. You have like a big belly laugh. You just, you know, like you feel these things. You're not taught them. You know what they feel like because you're human. And I think invalidating those feelings is just complete bullshit. And you know, parents and adults alike have no, like, I don't think they have any ground. Like, you can say, oh, they have experience in life, but, you know, you can't say to them, like, when you dated in high school, how would you feel if, like, I talked about your relationships like they were real? Like, even if they didn't hold up, they was still real love for a while they lasted. Because I've had direct experiences with my dad getting over a relationship, a recent ex of mine, and even though the relationship didn't last that long, if you really take into account, there was a huge emotional connection there, at least for me, and I invested a lot into it. Whether my former significant other felt that way or thought I did or not, you know, that's how I felt, and I knew that's how I felt. I felt extremely strongly about it. I was telling him, oh, I'm still getting over her, he kind of laughed at me, and it hurt, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
because you can't say that. You don't know how I really feel about that, and I think that's complete bullshit. And another thing is, like, parents, I feel like, also didn't have the kind of emotional awareness that our generation has today. And I'm not gonna be like, oh, we're so woke or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna be like that, but it is true. There's a lot of advancements we've made as a society, like bringing things out in the open, you know, getting help for mental illness. Even though there is a massive mental health crisis for our generation, that's also opened up a lot of avenues to get help for mental illness. And that wasn't there when our parents were kids. You know, they didn't deal with it the same way, they didn't handle it the same way, and guys were always told, you know, keep your emotions in, don't ask for help, stuff like that. I just don't think that parents can see it the same way, and as well as that's a big reason why the kids don't talk to their parents as much, you know?
exactly.
Like, if my mom or dad wants me to talk to them, and I'm like, no, I don't want to, it's stuff like that, you know? They invalidate you, they say, oh, get over it, or they say this and they say that, when that's not what you want. You want to talk to someone so they can either level with you or calm you down or just listen to you. They don't want input sometimes. They don't want someone to tell them if they're right or they're wrong. A lot of the time, I just want to be heard, and I just want someone to console me. And I can't do that with my parents because they could call me like a baby or something, or they just say get over it. Like, it's not that big a deal, when it is a big a deal.
You ever think about what your parents were taught?
I do.
Or even so, did they even get any relationship advice from their parents? Or, you know, your grandma and grandpa or something?
Well, I know with my parents specifically, from what I understand, my parents weren't exactly close with their parents as kids. So I just know that what they were taught was, you know, from any type of media or their friends, and they just learned over time. What they were taught, I know, I don't think it was as complex as what we're taught today, or what we learned from social media, or what we learned from our friends, because there's so much more awareness with our generation with a lot of topics that just were never just talked about. They were kind of taboo, I guess, because talking about your emotions as a man, like I was mentioning earlier, was kind of like, you know, guys just didn't do that. That was weird, you know? You were seen as kind of like a baby.
Yeah, like, you're not supposed to do that. Why are you talking about your feelings? You can't do that. You're a man.
Yeah, you're a pussy. You
It's a
can't
man
talk about
thing.
your emotions. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, even now there's a lot of traditionalist like ideals towards women as well, which I don't agree with, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of girls were taught, even in my mom and dad's generation. You know, and up until recently, everyth's been really traditional, just throughout history in general, up until, you know, 0.1% of humanity's existence. So, back to your high school career. What was junior? What was
Junior
yeah,
year.
junior year? Because I think we could both agree on this one that junior year was horrible.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it definitely was, especially since of COVID, and we were so scared to even hold our coughs.
Yeah, you can't cough in public, otherwise everyone turns their head.
Otherwise, you get like execution.
Yeah, you cough, and then some guy with a big axe just appears behind you and tells you to go on the chopping block.
That's
They
what I was
strap you
afraid
down
of.
to a hospital bed with a ventilator, and you stay there for 2 weeks until you don't cough anymore.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
back to our.
But how was your junior year? Because we ended our sophomore year thinking that it was going to be a 2-week break.
Yeah. I mean, I was very excited for 2 weeks. You know, 2 weeks off. I did not expect. I didn't expect Zoom to come up. And then during that time, I actually broke up with some good friends because of just in general social media.
Well, either way, it's just
It was a huge breakup. I didn't talk to any one of them.
yeah.
I was alone for a while. Sort of.
I don't think we were really close then either, were we?
No, we weren't. It was only when that one guy.
That one guy.
Yeah, that one guy brought me into the.
We'll call him Thomas.
That's. Yeah. Okay. You know.
It's similar.
I mean, you don't have to make it similar.
Well, okay, but nobody knows how it's similar.
I
So
guess
we're gonna
nobody.
say Thomas. We're gonna say Thomas.
Thomas. I was thinking more like Gerald, but okay.
Okay.
But okay, Thomas, I think invited me with you, or both of you invited me just to hang out, and that was pretty fun. We slept together and everything.
Oh.
I literally.
Oh man.
And then
Let's get pretty crazy in here. You drop the bomb on me like that.
I was talking about us, but yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then that's when I really met you. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because I'd known you since freshman year because you were dating.
That one.
Here, hold on. We gotta give everybody a name. You were dating. Leandra. Leandra works.
Yeah, I guess.
You were dating Leandra.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I knew you from that, but I didn't know you at all.
Exactly, and I think I actually got close to Thomas because that whole thing of her cheating on me. It was really big.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
It was a big thing, yeah.
But junior year, you came into junior year just really shitty for both of us. I had cabin fever.
It's cabin fever.
It's just like for 2 months I was shaking, like I was sweating, anxiety attacks sometimes. It was just because I was inside, very social creature. I like to socialize. I like to be a social little bug. And I couldn't do that. And that hurt.
Pretty sure everyone got fat.
Everyone got a little bit fatter. That is a true thing. Because when everyone came back at the end of junior year, when they finally started letting people back at school, everyone was a little bit fatter. That was a true thing. They lost a lot of weight. There was no in between. No one came back regularly. They were either fatter or they lost a lot of weight.
That is true. I mean, I never met anyone who lost weight, but
I saw a couple people who lost weight, but only a couple. Everyone else is just like, the people on Wally, including myself.
COVID really hit us.
Yeah.
And not only our mentality, but our education as well. Because when I went to summer school, there was a lot of kids.
There were more kids in summer school for our district than there have been in years.
Yeah, it was crazy. All I know is that it affected us so much that we actually have to lower our graduation status from, I think, 270 to
Oh no, that was actually going to happen a long time ago. That's a different conversation, but they were actually planning on doing that a long time ago. But anyway, so junior year, when we finally came back, not that many people came back. Some people were still online, yeah.
I mean, was there people online?
There were still people online. There were still people online towards the end of junior year. I went in person, but people, like most people, were still online.
Oh, now I remember. Yeah, I was online because I was lazy. I did not want to go to school.
Yeah, I got my worst grades in my entire high school career on junior year. It was really bad,
Yeah, to the point where I have to go to E2020 Ingenuity.
Yeah, but I mean, I will give it credit where credit's due. People, adults, and parents alike all realized how bad that was. It was a worldwide thing. Kids all over the world having to stay inside because it wasn't just our country. It was other countries, like other nations across the world, who had to stay inside and do Zoom. And especially little kids. Little kids learning on computers like that is not okay. Like, it's not healthy at all. In any sense. For their development, for their mind, for their physical bodies as well, because kids are so energetic, They can't just sit in front of a screen. You can't expect them to do that.
Yeah, and I guess school in our district helped because PE we had to actually do exercise right in front of the screen.
Oh, I didn't have to do that.
Lucky.
Yeah, that was junior year. And now we're at our senior year. Tell me about it. How was the beginning of it?
To be honest with you, senior year was a big glow up.
Oh, 100%.
It was a huge glow up for me. The fact that I didn't mention this back then when I talk about freshman and sophomore, but I was getting into like film hobby. I just record myself doing funny things,
Yeah.
posting it. I gave up on
remember
that. Yeah, I gave up on that a long time ago. I wanted to do it, but I wasn't motivated. But art was really a big thing. Art is really special to me.
And you are, I will say to all the listeners who are still listening to this amazing podcast,
Yeah.
my friend 64 is an absolute banger drawer. Like he's top notch. Tell me about your art, and how has your support come along with that?
To be honest, I don't care about support. I mean, of course, people support me, like you and family members, even, and friends, girlfriend too. I really do love what I do, and it makes me happy. I'm not doing it just, I guess, for entertaining people. I just do it because I love to do it. I don't care what anyone thinks. If I get bad feedback, I'd rather take it as learning from my mistakes other than crying.
And that's probably the best mindset to have about it. You know, you probably see like really cheesy videos on Instagram, like their motivation of these people saying, you know, you should not focus on getting victory. You should fail and learn from it, and that's way better than just getting victory on the first try. Which, although it's been said many times, failure is so much better than winning, because then you learn from it and you succeed even harder than you would have the first time if you did succeed.
Exactly. I mean, if you're not making mistakes, then you're doing nothing.
Yeah, you're not doing it right.
You're not doing it right. I mean, if you're not doing it right, that's probably a mistake. I don't know.
Being successful is a mistake all on its own. Don't be successful, be lazy, and rot at the bottom of society. That's the lesson today, kids.
Speaking of successful, do you know how many people want to be successful? Like, there's a lot of kids now saying, I want to do this, I want to create so many things. There's other kids saying, you know, people don't know what they're doing after high school. Some people do. Maybe like going to fast food industry or something. I got a whole plan ready, so I'm fine.
Yeah.
But for the people who don't know what to do, look for the opportunities. There's always going to be an opportunity showing in front of your face. Always take it. Even if you don't like it.
It could bring you somewhere that you never thought could be possible.
Exactly.
You know, like, there's a YouTuber I watch, and he's really cool, and he made a video recently talking about, he's a VR YouTuber, and he made a video talking about how recently one little decision changed his entire worldview in his life. You know, he talked about how he was working a construction job straight out of high school. He signed a contract that said he would retire in 51 years as a 21-year-old, and that he wasn't happy with his life. And out of nowhere, he scrounged as much money together as he could and bought a VR headset. And after going on VR chat for a little bit, he just, out of nowhere, in the middle of the night at 3 a.m., when you have those random spurts of creativity and just ambition, he just downloaded Adobe Premiere, put together a little video, and made a video, and it started his YouTube channel, changed his whole life. And now he's a full-fledged YouTuber making a living off of it. And about 2 years ago that happened.
It's crazy.
But it's like you don't even have, that's an example of opportunities are everywhere. And also, you can make your own opportunities, you know? Like, if you're good at something, you can make your own opportunities, even if you're not perfect at it. Because the video he made was really bad, but it kickstarted a life-changing decision for him, a whole new path in life. But even if you can't make an opportunity for yourself, always take something.
What is successful to you? Successful to me is basically...
I should be asking you that. Yeah, that's a good question. What is successful?
What is successful to me?
Yeah, what is that to you?
Most definitely, 100%. I think I changed my mind from this. Successfulness is just being happy financially. you love what you're doing, and you're getting so much from it. You know, such as like content creators, they love playing video games and making money out of it. Of course, I don't want to be like that. I want to actually work, which is a weird thing to say.
You really want to put in as hard the work as you can.
Yeah.
To get a really good result. I mean, I
well,
wait, sorry.
I want my work to be meaningful.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it is for them too. You know.
I mean, content creators, they mostly do it for entertainment. You know, crack a few jokes that make people laugh. Like me, you know, I grew up watching. I grew up watching stuff like Markiplier, Banos Gaming,
Classics.
SMG4, SMG, fuck you, SMG4.
SMG4. I love SMG4.
He changed a lot.
He's still funny though. I think he's still funny.
I guess I just don't like his voice acting anymore. But
yeah, but you grew up watching him.
I grew up watching them, and they're still going on. And I'm really happy that they were there to make us laugh, maybe through hard times, but just in general, every day is a good day when they upload something.
I feel like a big content creator in my life was Corey X Kenshin. He's a gameplay YouTuber, and I greatly appreciate his videos. And I think that a big thing with our generation in general has been YouTube. Every person, or at least most kids, or most people that I've been around that are our age, that I've asked about this, have grown up with some type of YouTuber that they watched. You know,
Exactly.
That's just like second nature to our upbringing. And it's such an influential thing in us. And it's, you know, our parents grew up with like the radio, cassette tapes, you know, music like that. Like that was the media, and like satellite and like the early stages of cable. That's what they grew up with. We grew up with the internet, YouTube, and like Cartoon Network. You know, that's it. It was a lot.
The internet really had a huge impact, especially to us Gen Zs.
Yeah. I think this is a good place to close off, actually. And as we're closing off, I just want to ask you, you know, just 3 last questions. You know, answer them as thoroughly or as quickly as you want.
Yeah.
What was your best year and why? What was your best year of high school?
Senior year.
Why? Tell me.
As much as I hate knowing a lot of things, you know, the fact that sooner or later we're not going to high school anymore. It's not going to be us kids anymore. We are the grown-ups now. At the same time, it's awesome because a lot of us feel like this is us. This is who we are.
And it took us this long to realize it.
You know, yeah, it took us many years, maybe from elementary to now. We become our decisions. We decided a lot of, we become.
Yeah.
We become more.
I understand you.
But at least we had a lot of fun, a lot of experience, a lot of loss. And I'm not sure if anyone, or at least mostly people would agree with me, but I'm really glad I could take all this experience with me to wherever I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, like we said earlier, for better or for worse, high school shapes you and readies you for the world. What was your worst year and why?
Sophomore year. You know, that whole year was just an experience. My mentality. Loss of relationships. Mostly. Things go. Things don't last. Things you expected.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say it happens to everyone.
It happens to everyone. You know, I'm not the only one that had this experience, but at the same time, I am really glad to tell you this. I'm really glad to be here.
Yeah, and we're glad to learn from these things. It
Yeah.
makes you, like we've said, just makes you a better person. You learn from it.
Yeah.
And as our final question, who do you see yourself as now, at this moment? And did you see, as a freshman, did you see yourself becoming who you are today, as the adult you're about to be?
I didn't expect myself to be in this situation where I went through a lot. Maybe I didn't went through a lot, but I did went through some hard shit. And maybe I failed to become what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know, just a regular kid. I actually am glad who I am right now. I mean, I haven't have any friends no more. It's fine. It is fine.
You're content.
It is fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm used to it. You know, this is not like, oh, I'm just saying it and I'm gonna cry later. Like, no. It is okay to be lonely. It is okay to change. Even if the change is bad. There's always a good outcome. I view everything as a good outcome. Everything will be okay.
Yeah.
That's basically my motto. Everything will be alright.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
I really appreciate you, my good friend 64, for coming on this first episode of the Grime Bin podcast. I have been the Bin Man. This has been my friend 64.
Yeah.
And this is the outro.